Hey everyone, it's Trader Rob. Today is Sunday, February 8th. Wanted to update everyone with our new weekly bands and new tradable levels. Also wanted to go over the weekly bands and tradable levels that I sent out on Sunday. Sorry there was no video. I was actually on vacation, and but I was still able to get out my newsletter that comes out every single Sunday. It's not really a newsletter. It's mainly just a one-page sheet that's got all of my weekly bands, all of my tradable levels that I discuss on these Sunday videos, which really is a roadmap for the upcoming week in the futures markets. So, and the nice bonus content you're going to get here today is now we are going to be providing levels in gold. So if you guys have been watching me live on stream, a lot of my Signal members already know that I've been providing signals and been trading gold live pretty much for like the last maybe 5 or 6 weeks, and really respecting the levels really well, mapped them out on stream, been taking quite a few trades. I actually think every trade in gold has been a winner. I think I might have had one losing signal in gold, but at least everything on stream has been a winner. Gold has been tricky here the last week and a half. Obviously, you've been seeing a lot of the restrictions that a lot of the prop firms have been putting on based on market volatility, and it has been. I mean, I've been even noticing that, and I've been picking up on it. If you guys have been watching the live stream, you guys have been kind of seeing that I've been really noticing a pattern in gold, what it likes to do, the kind of like the new behavior over the last week or 2 weeks, which is pretty interesting, but very, very findable. And I have been able to, whenever I see that pattern that does not fit what I'm looking for, I'm really able to invalidate a signal or a trade setup. And the ones that I'm like, well, this is definitely A plus. Those are the ones that I'm seeing smashing TP1, TP2, and then some. Actually, probably been leaving a lot of money on the table with gold. And you'll notice that once I give you guys the levels here for this upcoming week, just plot them out on your chart and see how they react. I'm not saying that you have to trade from them right now, but just see how they react. If you guys have been watching my levels and pretty much how I trade every single day with volume, you guys have probably seen the power of the levels and the weekly bands on how well they pretty much reject price in one direction or the other, depending on where price action's coming from. And the tradable levels are definitely scalpable. It's a built-in system here to trade the markets, and a very effective one at that. With that being said, I can tell you that the NQ and the ES, I've actually absolutely been loving the price action this past week, and that's what as a volume trader, that's kind of what I need. I need price action to revisit old areas of volume, create new pockets of volume that have been unbalanced, that the market, when it comes right back in, we're going to see a strong reaction. We've seen a lot of volatility. Obviously, the ATR every single day has been super high. But even with that, this has been probably the best week of trading that I've had probably in the last 4 or 5 weeks. January was great. December was terrible, but January was great. But so far, the beginning of February has just been absolutely fantastic for trading. So if you haven't catch me yet on stream, I go live every single morning at 8:30 a.m. I'd love to see you on there. It's a great opportunity for me to answer questions that people have on my strategy, on my psychology of trading. We really cover everything. We do prop firm trading. I trade with my live cash accounts. I give recommendations on kind of ways that I think might be some good practices on scaling, on risk, staggering accounts, which I'm a big fan of right now. And with that being said, let's get into the levels. You've got a banner up there with Lucid Trading. They're one of my newest partners in the prop firm space, but quickly have become probably I would say my favorite firm right now. And that's a pretty bold statement for me. But as I've been mentioning many times, I was a big fan of Top Step, and I was a huge fan of Top Step actually until they've kind of went exclusive with Project X. And the TopStep X platform. I'm not a huge fan of being limited in platforms like that because I trade off a NinjaTrader, and with all my prop firms, I can take one trade. I copy trades to all of those prop firms, and it makes my life easier. Whenever my TopStep X platform for me is kind of a secondary thought that I've got to log into my browser, got to have it on a separate chart. And many times I just even forget about trading it just because I'm so hyper focused in on my charts that are staring me on all 7 of my monitors that I'm looking at currently. And the beauty of Lucid is that if you look at their rules, their payout structure, their consistency, the amount of days that you have to, the amount of green days to get to a payout, are all very, very similar to TopStep, and with a few added things that TopStep does not have. So they even offer, like the Lucid Black. They've got instant funded. So they've got really good options. So far, they have been a firm that I am super, super excited about. And again, my biggest thing for me is it allows me to trade it through Trade NinjaTrader, which is what I trade on every single day. With that being said, let's get into the intro. Then we're going to get into these weekly levels. Do not snooze on these levels, guys. These are going to be bangers this week. I guarantee you that this is going to be a great roadmap for the upcoming week, and stick around for the gold levels. As always, nothing that I state on my channel is financial advice. Trading futures or any type of trading is risky business. Any capital that is put out there is at risk for loss. All right, so for the 2,000 plus people that received my email on Sunday, first of all, it's overwhelming how many people have subscribed to those levels and weekly bands. I truly appreciate that. Hopefully you guys appreciate that. This is a service that I provide free of charge. I give a video on it, but the beauty of the email that you receive every single Sunday is that it has every single band that I've got on the chart that old bands that we have not tapped into, old tradable levels that we have not tapped into. They are all included in that weekly report. Again, those come out on Sunday. To get that report, you just have to visit my website, which is robstrades.com. The first thing that's going to come up, you're going to get a pop-up. It's just going to ask you for your name and your email. Once you submit that, the emails go out. If you do it today or later on today, which is Sunday, February 8th, you will not receive that report probably until the following Sunday. But you at least have this roadmap right now, because I send the email out pretty close to when this video actually gets posted. But don't snooze on it, because every single Sunday they come out, and I know I get countless amount of emails on, people saying, Rob, just these tradable levels alone, and a lot of people are just trading the weekly bands, taking huge reactions off of these bands, guys, which are just barriers. This is a huge cluster of unbalanced volume that is a repellent for the market. Now, as I always state in my Sunday videos, there are a few things that, precisely there are 3 things that will allow price action to get through one of these bands. And that's going to be either headline news, high impact news that is scheduled, or multiple retaps into the same band. That's it. I mean, it's a rarity that you see price action just fly through a level without anything going on in the market. So just be super cautious of that. And another thing that I want to let you guys know, this video comes out right now. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon on Sunday, so we got about 2.5 hours here for the 5 p.m. open, or the Sunday night open. Now, we typically will see a gap on the ES, the NQ gold. They'll usually have that gap, and that gap can go to the top side, to the bottom side. What I recommend is, if you've got a level that's near that gap or near that open, I would definitely wait on that first level to see if the market gaps to the upside, to the downside. Sometimes we gap below the level that I even put down where I believe there is unbalanced volume, where we're going to see a reaction that's scalpable. I will put that level in there. Now, if it gaps underneath it, are we going to trade that level? No, and we're definitely not going to trade it in the direction to the top side. But what we will look for is if price action comes back to it from the opposite direction that I put in my video. We're always looking for a reaction at these white dotted lines, which are my tradable levels. So I just want people to understand that Sunday night open is a little unique because we typically will see that decent sized gap, and I don't want people to get confused when price action gaps underneath a level and they're like, well, should I just take a short here? No, that's not what we're looking for. What you would want to do is you want to take a look at the next level below it or the next level above it, depending on which side we gap down to. So what I have done is I've put the chart to Sunday, February 1st. Again, I was on my cruise during that time, but I was still able to send out my report. And these were the tradable levels, and this was the weekly band that I had posted in here. So we would first ignore this first level here at the 69.07, and the first weekly band, and this happened Sunday night. The first weekly band that you got presented was the 68.80 to the 68.35. Can you please tell me if that was the reaction that you were looking for? I would think so. This is the band that created that huge move to the upside. And then more specifically, the weekly band is the area where you're going to see a huge reaction to the top side in this scenario, because price action is coming from the top to the bottom. Now we want to get into a scalpable. You say, okay, Rob, this is too big of a band. I'm not looking for 50 points on the ES or 30 points on the ES. I'd like to make five points on the ES, which again, when I'm scalping the ES, that's typically what I'm looking for, is anywhere from that 3 to 6 point range. Can you tell me if this would have given you a pretty nice scalpable level at the 68.65? I mean, this is taking the weight of the entire market coming down from the downside pretty aggressively and saying, you know what? Take a pause here, buddy. You got to go back to the top side. And I mean, to the point, 68.65 was your reaction all the way up back to the top side. So we finally came all the way right back. We did. Now you're going to say, Rob, this level blew through the 69.87. No, it did not. This is a tradable level, correct? This is a scalpable level. This is not a weekly band. This is a tradable level. Well, tell me what the candle in front, before this candle moved to the upside, what did this do? Well, this price action tried to make a move past the 69.87. What did the level say? I'm sorry, buddy, but I've got volume here that you need to balance out before you're allowed to go back up to the upside. And that in itself was more than a 10-point move to the downside. I'm on a 15-minute chart right now. So take a look at it in a 1 minute. It's going to look a lot more dramatic, a lot more to my point. But this is what you need to look at. And these are what the power of these tradable levels are. So let's get into some current price action. And now let's make some adjustments for this coming week. So this tradable level I can get rid of, this tradable level I can get rid of, and this tradable level I can get rid of. And I'm sorry, I think there was one more. Oh, and I'm sorry, we did. And then we finally did come into, this was on Thursday, February 5th. Had another weekly band here at the 67.81 to the 67.40. Price action finally tapped in. And what did it do? What did this band do? Very similar to the band up here, correct? Did this band say, you know what, you're allowed to go through? No, you're not. Look at the reaction from this last band that I had put in on our last week's report. I'm telling you guys, you can't make this shit up. So stop snoozing on it. I know you guys watch the video. I know you guys see the emails. You guys see the reports. Start trading it. All right, let's get into the new weekly bands. I think you need to make 2 adjustments here. Yes, I do. So this first new weekly band now is going to sit at the 70.29. to the 69.84. Again, 70.29 down to the 69.84. Boom. Okay, so that's going to be your new weekly level, sitting above where price action is currently sitting at. And this band is now going to be adjusted to the 67.99 to the 67.50. Again, 67.99 to the 67.50. And this is going to be below where price action is currently at. Okay. Now, as far as new tradable levels, we've got 3 of them on the ES, which is kind of nice. Let's change this to white. And the first level is going to be sitting at the 6,900. 6,900. Okay, so below where price action is currently sitting at. Our next tradable level is going to be at the 68.16. 68.16. Boom. And our third and final level is going to sit at the 67.91. 67.91. What do I always say about these tradable levels that are sitting in these bands? Super powerful. These get the multiplying effect on these is just dramatic. Okay, so again, these are going to be your new tradable levels for the ES. You've got your weekly bands. Again, if the video is going too quick, just go to my website, robstrades.com, put your name, your email. You'll get every single thing that's on this chart, plus everything else that you don't see on the chart, delivered to your email. Let's jump to the NQ now. All right, the NQ. Let's go to February 1st, which is last Sunday. All right. February 1st. Okay, Sunday. So I think the open was right around here. We came back down. Strong move to the downside, very similar to the ES. The weekly band repelled the price action really nicely. Tradable level, a little bit more tricky. Probably would have, because you probably wouldn't have gotten a confirmation here until about, well, what is this, about 10:15 that night. Still a decent reaction, but this is not the greatest scalpable area. Now, if I was to drop down to the 1 minute, I'm sure we could find some opportunities right here. But for right now, let's just kind of focus in on this weekly band at the 25,297 to 25,230. 230, sorry. So we finally did sweep right underneath this band. We came right back up, tried to get right through it again, repelled it way to the upside. Now your next tradable level that was given on Sunday was at the 25,986. Does this look kind of insane to you? I'll let you guys take a look at that chart for a couple of seconds. And you tell me what possibly could stop a freight train like this. And this is probably, I'm going to say, close to a 700 to 800 point move to the upside here. The price action was nutty on the NQ. But where's the line in the sand? 25,986. That's the power of the levels. That's the power of the weekly bands. What did price action do? It dropped another 700 to 800 points to the downside. What was the only thing that was able to buoy this market back up? The same weekly band. And there's one weekly band that I gave you guys. 25,297, 25,230. And you tell me if that was the band. Now, did it finally blast through the band? Sure did. But that's part of the rules. Part of the rule is either it's going to be headline news, high impact news, or multiple retaps of the same level. Well, finally, price action is going to do what price action has to do. Once it balances out that volume, it's gone. It is gone. So Let's get into the next one here. So we did have a smaller band here at the 25.012 to the 24.90. Did try to reject, but it, and this is the only thing that sometimes you'll get. Typically, in a video like this, what I would have personally done is I probably would have combined these two bands here together because they were kind of sandwiched together, very close to each other. So as you can see, it tried to repel price action here, and it was not enough. So what did it need to do? It finally needed to tap into this band right here at the 24.283, and that was what provided you the nice buoy on that on the market there. And price action was obviously very, very nutty this past week. But again, it's a good roadmap. It's a great roadmap to trade these markets. I've got 4 bands for you guys now on the NQ that we need to adjust. I believe this one is going to be okay. So let me just change this one. Now stay with me here. It's going to be the 26.004 to the 25.916. 26.004 to the 25.916. All right, so that's going to be a band right above price action where it's currently at. Let me just get rid of these tradable levels because we did go through these. Okay. This band is now going to get adjusted to the 25.636 to the 25.547. Again, 25.636 to the 25.547. Boom. That's your next weekly band above where price action is currently at. This one is going to get adjusted to the 24.900. Sorry. To the 24.813. 24.900 to the 24.813. Okay, so right below where price action is currently at, and I need one more. Clone that guy, bring him down, and he is now going to sit at the 24.592. And you're only going to see Sunday videos like this with this many new weekly bands when we've got price action that was absolutely ripping. So 24.592 to the 24.525 looks good. Let's just get this one here. Whoops. Oops. Too quick for my own self. Perfect. All right. So the weekly bands are in. So your first band, 24.592. Second band, 24.900. Third band, 25.636. And the 26.004 at the top side. All right. Now let's get into our tradable levels. These are scalpable around price action. First one is going to sit at the 25.929. 25.929. Okay, sitting right at the bottom of this weekly band. What have I said? Those are the ones that you want to be super, super, super attentive to. Well, you got to be attentive to all of them, but those are some powerhouses. 25.750. 25.750. Okay, above price action. And the last one, which is going to sit at the 24.899. 24.899. Boom. Right at the top of this new weekly band, right below here as well. So those are your tradable levels and your weekly bands for the NQ. And lastly, making its premiere is going to be gold. So gold, I will be providing you here with 3 tradable levels on gold that you can scalp 40, 100, 150 ticks. These moves are going to be very, very strong from these levels. First level is going to sit on gold at the 4909.7. 4909.7. Boom. Mark that one up. Second level is going to sit at the 4803.7. 4803.7. Boom. And lastly, you've got the 4747.9. 4747.9. Those are your 3 tradable levels in gold. Mark those up on your charts, guys. I know this is the first Sunday that I provide you guys with gold levels. Hopefully, if you've been watching my live streams, you already know that I know what I'm talking about. So just mark these levels up, and maybe surprise yourself when you take a look at charts. So that is the roadmap, your roadmap for the NQ, the ES, and gold for this coming week. Again, I'll just state one more time, I am live. I trade the markets live every single morning. Gold, the NQ, and the ES. I start right at the market open. We usually go for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Then I go to my live stream with my Signal group, which if you're interested in joining, there is a link down below for the Signal service. We had about a 74% win rate back in January. I think we had 17 winners and 6 losers for the signals in gold, the NQ, and the ES. I think we had maybe 5 signals on the ES, all winners. I think we maybe had 4 signals on gold. I think 1 was a loser, and NQ was a banger as always. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl here tonight, but I am more looking forward to trading with you guys this coming week. Take care, everyone.